Hey guys, my name is Francisco Hernandez and today's video is a retouching tutorial. I'm going to show you guys how I edited this photo on the screen right here of Zadie that I took this past WPPI over in Vegas. I'm actually going to be leaving a link in the description area below to that raw file so you guys can edit this photo with me. It'll be kind of like Bob Ross painting with Bob Ross, but editing a photo with off-camera flash with Francisco Joel Hernandez, me. Before I continue, I do want to let you know that this video is sponsored by Adorama. Adorama is an industry-leading retailer that has been serving photography, videography, and audio customers for almost 50 years now. Their motto is everyone is a creator, and they do their best to unleash that creator within us all by providing us with the tools and expertise necessary to get the job done. I personally shop at Adorama for both the great deals on products I use and recommend, but also the great customer service on those products as well. If you find yourself interested in any product that I talk about in today's video, check the links that are going to be in the description area below and be sure to use those links if you decide to order. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do with this photo is kind of give it a quick scan. I always do this when it comes to editing my photos. I try to see what I want to adjust before I go ahead and just make any sort of first adjustments. And one thing that I am seeing that is going to be a big change is going to be the amount of shadow detail. It's very dark in the shadow detail and I feel like this lamp behind her, even though it is pretty interesting, I feel like it's too bright. Right off the bat, one thing I'm going to do is try to raise the exposure a good amount brighter so that I can see what's going to be too bright for her skin, and I'll just kind of leave it where I feel like it's going to be just right and not too bright in terms of the brightness on her skin. So let's go ahead and just raise the exposure. You know what? I'll keep it at, let's say +1, because sometimes when I raise the exposure and I feel like it's a tad bright on the skin, what I'll do is next go to the whites and I might reduce that to, let's say, -20 to 40. So let's say 25. I feel like actually 25 is pretty good. I am going to just zoom in just a little bit. And yeah, I think actually that's perfect at -25 on the whites. When it comes to increasing the shadow detail, I don't really do that in terms of the overall adjustment here, and I'll do that in a second with the adjustment brush area, the masking area. But the very next thing that I can apply to the entire image right now is the colors. So I feel like this image is a tad bit cool, so I'm going to increase the temperature to, let's say, to 4000. Looks good. Every time I increase the warmth of the image, I feel like it's also increasing the green tint. I'm going to go ahead now and increase the magenta. So right now it's at 8, and let's say at +14. Okay, that's a tad bit too red. So I think it started at 8 and I'm gonna go to 12 now. And I feel like at 12, it's pretty good. To be honest with you guys, this is something that's very hard to see. It's very subtle, but I'm doing my best to really zoom in and hone in on the skin tones. And that's where I'm seeing where the adjustments need to be made. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just make the adjustments of the entire photo's saturation. And I always go to the very bottom of the develop module in Lightroom to this calibration section, and specifically the blue primary section, and even more specific, the saturation slider. I always bring it up from 60 to 100. I'm gonna start off strong at 100, see how that looks like. And I actually do really like how it looks like there. But two colors always get a little bit too saturated, and it's usually the oranges and the blues. There's not a lot of blues in this images, so that's not an issue. But I do feel like this right here is a tad bit saturated. Actually, with a quick bit of another scan of the image, I feel like if anything needs to be adjusted, it's just maybe the skin tone on just her to be a tad bit cooler, just a tad bit. Aside from that, I do actually really like all the colors that are going on in this image. In order to keep this video a little bit more speedy, I probably won't adjust the skin tones too much because it is very, it's something that needs the tiniest bit of adjustment. It's not too bad. I feel like it's a tiny bit saturated, so I'm not going to do any sort of adjustments to that here in Lightroom. So I'll go ahead and just skip to the other adjustments that I wanted to make, which is reducing the highlight of that lamp and increasing the shadow detail. And aside from that, I don't think there's anything else that I want to do in terms of a Lightroom edit to this photo. So let me go ahead and just go to the adjustment brush masking area, different names for it. But I'm gonna click this circle over here, and then it's gonna bring me to the adjustments area where I can go ahead and click on subject, sky, or background. For this specific photo, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on background, because I believe it selects her and grabs the entire image except her, so everything that's not her is selected. So let me go ahead and just see if that's exactly what went down. So let me hover over this, and it did mess up a little bit on the top of her head, but that's totally fine. So yeah, I pretty much selected everything but her. So now I'm gonna go ahead and make these adjustments here with the shadows. First, I'm gonna raise the shadows to, let's say, I think at 25, it actually looks pretty good, because if I go higher than, let's say, like 30 and higher, I feel like it looks too obviously raised shadows, and there's a little bit more reality here with this shot at +25. So I'll keep it like that. And now I will go ahead and reduce the whites and see how that looks like. Okay, reducing the whites looks a little too weird, so I'll keep it at maybe -10. Then I'll change the highlights to be lower. And now at -20, I feel like it's pretty good. The very next thing I want to do is click on this plus and then click on sky. Hopefully it does select the sky, which is this dark area around her head. I want it to be just a little bit brighter. Let me hover over that and see how that looks like. And yeah, it's got, I forgot to get a little bit of this tree area, but let's see how it looks like when I raise the shadows a bit. And I think at +30, let's go a little higher to 40. I think okay, 30 looks too funky, so let's keep it at +25, another 25. Even though the sky detail is better, it did forget to get this part here next to the trees. So what I'm gonna do now is I will go ahead and click on the mask, and in that I can go ahead and just click on plus and click on brush, and now I could paint back the area that it forgot to include over here, specifically in the trees. So now if I do that, now it gets a little bit more of those trees. And I'll go ahead and just click a little bit more on the top, a little bit above her head. And I think we're good now. I'll click on delete so you can see exactly what I just added in terms of the tree area. Just a little bit more brightness in the tree. And if I click on delete on the sky, you can see how brighter it is now. I do want to increase the exposure in the eyes, so I will zoom in on those eyes. And now I'll click on plus, click on brush, and then click on, let's see, I have somewhere in my presets, I have dark eyes, and now I'm gonna brush over the eyes. And one thing I didn't really describe yet was with the brush tool, sometimes I'll have the feather, I actually will always have the feather at 100 because I don't want it to be too obvious what I'm adjusting, what I'm changing. And I do have the flow at 60 and the density at 60 because I feel like that's a nice balance of applying the adjustment kind of quickly but not too quickly. And I will just go ahead and finish that brightness of the eye so you guys can see exactly what it did to the eye. I'll just click on delete and then show you guys. It feels like it's a tad bit too bright, so I think I will go ahead and lower the blacks to -10 and see. And I feel like that is now where I want it to be. And now I can finally zoom out and take one last look at the image. And if I feel like it needs another more adjustments, I might do those adjustments in Photoshop because now it looks pretty good. So now I'll show you guys the before and the after, and now I will export this photo and then finish the edit in Photoshop. Now that we're here in Photoshop, I'm gonna give one last scan to see really what I want to correct or change with this photo. I could either do frequency separation first, dodge and burn first, or change the colors. And when it comes to this photo, I'm not seeing much else to do aside from maybe removing the softbox in the top. And on the bottom right, there's a little bit of light stand, I think it is. The one thing I do feel like I want to do is make the dress smoother on the bottom here. And the way that I'm going to do that is with frequency separation. So while I'm already doing frequency separation, I can take a closer look on the skin and see if I wanted to adjust the smoothness of the skin a little bit, make the skin a little bit smoother. So I'll give one quick zoom into the photo on the skin. And honestly, and I already anticipated this, she doesn't really need much work on her skin because she already has nice smooth skin. So I'll probably just skip the smoothening of the skin on her and just stick to the dress. So right now I'll just get the frequency separation layers and I'll just kind of skip through this because I have described them in detail in other videos, which I'll leave a link to in the top right corner of the screen, as well as the description area below. Now that I have the layers over here and I do have the mixer brush selected, I will zoom in on the dress right here, specifically this area I felt like could be a little bit smoother. So I'm gonna just paint now. I'm gonna make sure to change the size of the brush, which is gonna be with the open and close brackets next to the P on the keyboard. Okay, so I did do a good amount of smoothing on the dress right here in the bottom. So I'll show you guys the before and the after. And it's not exactly perfect. I could take a little bit more time to fine tune the pathways of the lights and the shadows, but it looks pretty all right to me. So I'm going to go ahead and just go a little bit higher, see if I need to smoothen any part of this upper part of the dress. And I don't think so. So I might just go ahead and skip this. Maybe I'll do a little bit on the side here and then I'll go to dodge and burn. Okay, so I did do a little bit here. So let's see the before and the after. If anything, I just made it a little bit brighter over here. Here's one more before and after. And now I'll get dodge and burn layers. The dodge and burn is fairly simple. I just get a curves adjustment layer and then I just raise the middle line here to the next line up, and then I change it to dodge. I name it dodge, and then I click on the mask again. I accidentally deselected this, but now I'll hit Command or Control I, and it'll invert it. And I don't think I'm gonna do a lot of burn to this image, so that's why I might skip that. Let's see, I'm gonna take one quick look, and yeah, I think everything that's dark is already pretty dark, so I don't think I'll skip, I'll skip the burn part of dodge and burn. And if anything, I'll just zoom in on areas around her that I think need to be a tad bit brighter. And honestly, there's not much, so let me just zoom in on the skin. Yeah, if anything, it'll probably be a little bit of brightening around the eyes and a little bit of like the I don't call them sleepy lines, the bags. So I'll go ahead and just fix that a little bit. What I usually do when it comes to dodge and burn is I'll get a black and white adjustment layer, and it makes everything black and white. And if I lower the reds and the yellows, then it kind of enhances those inconsistencies in the skin. So specifically this line right here. So I'll go ahead and just fix that and raise the exposure of just the eyes, and probably be done, aside from removing some stuff in Photoshop Beta. You definitely want to make sure you have the right layer selected. So that's going to be this dodge layer. And now I'll make sure I have the right brush, which is going to be right here. And I did change the flow earlier to 51%. You definitely don't want to do that, because if I did that right now, it'd make everything very, very bright. And I want it to be a gradual brightness. So I'm going to change the flow to 1. I'm going to right click so you can see like the hardness, just like in Lightroom where it was that feather tool, that feather section. Hardness is Photoshop's version of feather. So you will want it to be at 0% when you want it to be very soft on the edges of the brush, and then you want it to be 100% if you want hard edges. I tend to leave it at 0% whenever I'm doing dodge and burn. So I want it to be not noticeable at all, very gradual. So I'll just reduce the size of the brush and just paint over the bag. Right, this is the before, and then this is the after. And now I'll deselect black and white and do one more before and after. And then now I can just move on to the eyes, and I just kind of just paint left and right for like 3 or 4 seconds, and then do the same thing to the left eye. And now let's see the before and after, before, after. And now I can just zoom out, take one last look at the image, see if I want to do anything. I do want to change the colors slightly, so see how I can change the colors to can be better or worse. So let's see what that's gonna look like with this last selective color adjustment layer. I always play around with the sliders, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do right now, just to see how how I feel about the image, and then I'm just kind of fast forward through this. Now the image looks pretty good to me in terms of color. I didn't realize that because there's a good amount of greens and yellows in the top tree section and the light, that little lamp section, I could adjust those to be more in unity to be more like the other colors that were already going on in this image. So I'll show you guys the before and after that. Here's the before and here's the after. It was more about changing these colors right here with the green and yellow section of the selective color adjustment layer. And now I think the very last thing I'll do is export this image into Photoshop Beta so I could change how this looks like. Now that I'm here in Photoshop Beta, I'm going to just move this contextual taskbar. That's very important. That's what I use to change different things using the AI tool in Photoshop. But right now, I'll have to just get the selective, or the lasso tool. Okay, I can update, but it's probably not going to go away. I'm going to leave it there and just kind of just act like it's not there. And I'm just going to go ahead and select over this lamp, and now click generative fill, and I'm going to click on period because I learned from Pixelperfect on YouTube that you can click on that and it'll help avoid any errors that usually happen without clicking on that. So now I'll click generate and see what happens. And it did generate 3 different lamps. This one looks okay. I actually do like how small it is. And here is going to be the second lamp, and I actually do also like this one as well. And here's the third lamp, which I don't like because there's no bright area in the middle of it. So if I had to choose between this one and this one, I feel like that one's too round like a ball. So I'll keep this first one. I'll probably do this, with after the video is done, I'll remove that softbox and that little bit of light stand using the same AI tool. But aside from that, I'll probably just save this photo to be 2048 pixels on the longest edge. And that'll be good for both Facebook and Instagram. And if I felt like I needed to change it to 4:5 crop for Instagram, then I might do that as well. But aside from that, I showed you guys everything what I would do in Lightroom and Photoshop, and that it completes the edit basically. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys learned something. And I'll give one last thanks to Adorama for sponsoring this video because it does allow me to keep making free videos for you guys. So definitely check them out. But for now, take care, and I'll see you in the very next video.